Login accepted.
I asked about. I think we took my resume and she just copied. Okay.
It's so weird because every time I get my resume reviewed by like different people, they like switch up where they want to skip that. And I've had like 2 people tell me skills the bottom, and then 3 people tell me still the top.
Bro, look how much I graduated when you guys are big. I don't know how I expect that was gonna stop and then I came on my resume.
I mean, hey, when I got those later.
Well, how are you like that though is where.
You know, surprisingly, the one career fair that actually was pretty cool was the one in Cal State San Marcos. Yeah, like I don't know why. There's like so many companies there. Like actual like, and they were like it was small. You actually took your resume, they talked to you about it.
JC didn't even like.
Yeah, but well, luckily the my college like yeah, Cal State hired me.
I see this shit. It's happening.
Do it Cal State or you?
Bro, you're explaining people's resumes?
Yeah, I did their college.
You said it's not that good.
Yeah, okay.
What do you like? Like, I don't have, yeah. Well, did he say that he bought? Oh, no, yeah, he has. I bought it.
Oh, well. Yeah, so at least you had that there too.
I think they probably do. They probably do.
Oh, you.
Oh, shit, okay.
I never followed up them. Okay, but I didn't like it.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
I didn't like that.
So hello, everyone. We're gonna get started on today's workshop. If I can get everyone's attention. So today we'll be discussing or going over building a Windows Fortress, which is related to Active Directory. And if you can go next slide. So this is our current schedule, 9-20, building a Windows Fortress. Just a reminder that tomorrow will be SAND if you guys are participating in that. It's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that is also building 1001. Yeah.
If you haven't already joined this competition server, the link is in the announcement from yesterday. So that's how you get access to all the information, the briefing packet, and your teams. So make sure you join that. Can you go to the next slide, Raymond? Yeah, so become a member, paid member, specifically. The link is still up to be a paid member. It's $35 a year and then $20 for the fall. And yeah, also if you're already paid for a membership and haven't gotten your t-shirt, I'm in the front. I have your t-shirts right there. Just come up to me and give me your name. But yeah, I think, right.
Can everyone hear me?
If you want to unmute yourself, Raymond.
Wait, hello?
I
Where's my...
I didn't know that.
Can you talk now, Raymond?
Wait, hello?
All right, right here.
Oh, okay. Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Raymond. I'm a Swintern and 4th-year CIS student. I wish I could be there in person, but I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, so fortunately I'll be here, but just through Zoom.
And yeah, so my name is Jerry. I was also part of the Tuesday workshop or discussion. I'm a 4th-year CS major and also part of the CPTC team for 2024. And so essentially for today's workshop, everyone will be playing like a role of the system administrator. You'll be completing tasks on what a system administrator would usually complete from their day-to-day. If you haven't already, just go ahead and deploy your pods on Camino. And these are the credentials up there to log into the domain controller, which is usually where you'll be completing a lot of the challenges within the packets that we'll show you guys in a bit for the questions. So yeah, we're so excited to have you be part of the Swift Lakes enterprise. We are in desperate need of the following tasks to be completed since our previous sysadmin was unable to complete them. We'll leave these credentials up for a bit just so everyone can get logged in. And then we'll move on to the next portion. So I'll give it like about 3 minutes to let everyone get into their machines.
Yes, sir. Round two.
I'm mentoring round two.
Oh,
I'm not competing. Yeah,
you want to join the red team?
I'm mentoring. I can't. Conflict of interest
Yeah, you're right.
next year.
The volunteer.
You have full applications of that or what?
Volunteer, and then what they do is they have like little mini CTF.
That's something else.
Yeah, if you play the CTF, then you get like access.
How hard is the CTF? What if I'm dog shit?
Last year CTF was pretty easy. It just was a file inclusion, and then you look for a binary that had the SUI bit. And you just,
So anyone that walked in late, that's the pod that you'll be deploying. It's ENF, it's probably a little hard to see, but ENF-AD on Camino.
File inclusion, you had to do it's for a PHP file, and like it was really difficult sometimes like formatting, especially if you're like using perp or something. Basically, like, just trying to get the commands through.
It's like you right now scripts they give.
Yeah, and they give you scripts like a whole playbook. Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's not like.
So you're not actually like.
No, it's not like.
You're kind of just like following.
Yeah, basically following. But it's
I
fun.
mean, it's still fun, yeah.
Yeah, because then you like I remember last year, like we had like these scripts that just blew up the PLC of like teams, and so like, or yeah, like using a model.
I was up, right?
Yeah, so it was so funny just sending it and so.
Oh, yeah, I didn't give up, yeah.
Yeah, the scripts is blowing up PLC, and I see my team going crazy, like, what's going on?
It is.
Awesome.
I didn't end up like, sorry guys.
Dude, what the hell? You didn't read the announcement? You're supposed to do it early.
I didn't know what I'm saying.
Gosh.
Yeah, well, I might have not deployed. I just said something off. Yeah, give up.
All right, so these will be some of the tasks that you guys will be completing. If you're still having some issues, no worries. I'll be walking around helping if you have any Camino issues or pulling your pod and whatnot. So there'll be 4 challenges per slide, and essentially we'll let you guys work on them for a bit, and then we'll wrap around and show you guys how to actually complete them if you were having some trouble while you're doing it on your own. So yeah, the first task will consist of modifying the password policy, which is specifically the default policy, the default domain policy. You can find that in the domain controller. And so those will be the requirements that you'll have to specify on the default password policy. So the password history, password complexity, and so on. And then from there, you'll add users to like an organizational unit. And then below that is the specific users and passwords you'll have to add to that organizational unit. Additionally, for question 3, you'll be removing a fired employee from the domain as well. And then for 4, you'll be changing the permissions for certain employees as well. So give you guys about like 15 minutes to complete this task. I'll be walking around and just let me know if you have any questions or issues. then we'll move to the next set of tasks. Thank you.
Slides.
Oh, yeah, like.
If you already hit clone, just give it some time. Don't clone again, it's gonna slow down our infrastructure. So, yeah.
I mean, we had this too. Oh,
Probably not. I tried to do it the last 2 years. It's never like, it always,
I tried to do it last year and I just like missed.
yeah, like it's always during like midterm season. And they're like, I got so much other shit going on.
I don't want to take that out of here and like not do it.
And I was like paying $35 for it.
Oh, they like give you a copy here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
When I called back.
well, yeah, last year I was roughing it, bro. I was like begging the local cybersecurity team. I was like, please, please. Yeah. I just do my own CPAS at that point. Like next year, I'm trying to do Sakai CTF.
It's probably
That's what I'm trying to do. So,
what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just wait for.
Oh, did you get a late one?
Not this year, I'm so sad, but next year, one of the guys I know, he go into this year, he's gonna have me go in next year. So I'm gonna have like the kill and everything, red shirt, it's gonna be so fun. Can't wait. You guys?
Yeah.
And then it.
Oh, actually.
It's not there.
Or at least one of
But
them.
it says it's split on what's followed.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a ton of CTFs.
Yeah, they got. Follow that thing, I don't remember what it was.
Did they get the black badge?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's fire. I think it's Fulton as a security society, right?
You like.
We did this competition here.
Yeah, I just added it. So you're good. So.
Yeah, we're flying penetration.
That's what I have to do.
There's money too.
Oh, wow.
So it should be fun.
It's fun.
We have not seen it yet. But
We haven't
we
got
won,
it.
so we won $750. We haven't seen it yet.
What?
It sounds like. No, no, no. I think we misunderstood. It's $1,000 prize pool, so 250 second place. But
Oh.
last year, $1,000 went straight to first. So we kind of. But we haven't seen it anyway.
Or go knock on the door, like, hey, what are your fucking competition guys?
I guess they're like having some issues with this.
Oh, they're supposed to
It's
receive
like
the
a
funds.
club thing. I'm not gonna die if I don't get my $150.
Oh, I will die, bro. Like, that's $150 right there.
When you roll something up on your live bus, not that much.
So this, it says it's deployed, but
It was a nice
A
dinner,
nice dinner.
but
this is
we
a.
still need that $150 in like a couple months, so I'm like, no, it's.
If it
If I
comes.
need that $150 right now or right now, then I'm much more straight than I want to be.
Let's start sending angry calls and everything.
Someday we'll see that money. But we did get a giant novelty check, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay, as long as you like have the pictures for it, I think it's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a great.
Like your LinkedIn and everything.
Well, he said he was gonna bring it to the. So it'll probably be there. It'll be there tomorrow. And I'll find You see your pod? Deploy? Doesn't Camino mind deploy? Oh, it doesn't happen, but you know, you should probably it doesn't show it.
I was gonna start like reloading, use like whatever. Modules you guys wanted, like whatever tools or. You guys have said.
So does it look like you're right?
Oh. Well, no, well,
You're not gonna be signed up.
oh, a little bit.
It's a bunch of fun, and they want you to do.
Yeah. Crazy, honestly.
I was wondering, it's like,
That's like very crazy about it.
yeah.
Like, shit.
I know like some schools.
It's
they
not
have
true.
surrounding cyber force. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. I know like a team from Florida, like they have this course that's all around cyber force.
What did you-
That's why, because their professor literally like designed a whole course around it.
That's amazing. Also, at least one thing.
Don't feel them.
Yeah, you see, I think.
Oh my god. Like crazy, they have so many like sponsors.
This much money, right?
I talked to, yeah, one of the clubs,
Yeah, just give them
one of the
permission.
water clubs, they have like $400.
You said not have.
We get 40 people showing up.
Yeah, what you're doing, don't.
Yeah, I'm surprised like California is such like a big team. You know, like, I thought it'd be a lot smaller than this. Especially like doing like one of those like kind of a commuter school-ish.
I feel like there's actually been a lot.
So the Cal State San Marcos, they had like trouble staying even like 18.
Spring semester, it'll probably.
They look back for us, don't want to go on teams.
Yeah. Wait,
It's 18.
oh yeah, that was crazy, there's so many people. Okay. No, dude, I have a pod that says it's there and it's not here.
Oh, you know what, go back. Just get to the one on the right side. Yeah, right. Yeah, that one. And then expand it, expand it.
Wait,
Oh, what the
No.
fuck?
Yeah, no, Alex has to give me.
nice. I'd make a new account, so I don't know.
I don't use very passwords.
I can always look when I go to another one, this would be.
Cybersecurity nightmare. Use password managers are so nice. So good.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna try for a long time, and I had people who were still doing that, like,
Oh, good morning.
Okay, I'll wait for sure.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And they just have to refresh.
Yeah, well, no, no. It's all
It's like smiling.
Yeah, all of our infrastructure.
Alex.
They only have like 4. So like.
Yeah, yeah.
What phone number?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
1897.
Yeah, this is, so usually it would be.
Look again, please.
Yeah.
And then the other one we went to was.
Dude, leave me alone. I might have like this.
The domain.
I do now.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yes.
Okay, okay, I just made a new one that was like belonging to the other one, and I'm thinking it's because like the issues they were having. So I made to make a new one. But the one I've been using consistently is BBC Boot Camp 2 that Marshall made for me. Yeah, okay, thank you.
October 17th from 22.
I know. I've never seen.
Yeah, 1897, right?
Yeah.
Refresh on the right side. Like, you know, there's a right. Next to your name.
Wait.
Oh, wait, you have it now, you have it now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's here. Okay, thank you.
This one I think 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But then for Jopper from 3 to 6.
Yeah, you have it. 96. They're doing the-
96, I don't have a 96.
You have a 96, right?
I cannot be much time to commit to anything like that before it's
Oh, okay, perfect.
Depends, if you wanna help like develop playbooks, it takes about like 10 hours a week.
I probably want to do that. I don't think I can have
Yeah.
that.
But other than that, like, just like, I think the week building up to it, like 5 hours a week, just getting used to like the environment, getting everything set up, the playbooks, installing the auto VNet stuff. And then the day of, oh my god, it's like chaos, bro. So the day of,
You're chaos, right?
oh, dude, it is like as bad as us, bro. Like sometimes shit doesn't work. You could be in person.
Wanna-
What try to be in person again?
I'll put it down
Like,
I'll
call with it, but
I asked her
Not-
about that, I
yeah,
figured out,
you
I'm like,
well, last year I was in person. Just like you're in the tiny room. You could like hear the teams on the other side like freaking out.
reload your.
Oh man, I wish I went to go check you guys out.
Yeah,
This is what's up.
You guys have internet, or like, how'd you connect to your internet?
The internet was so
Yeah,
bad.
it was so bad, even when you guys like connected
We were
like.
down.
Oh, yeah, we had our own little, yeah, we had our own little private, only for our team though.
Yeah, we were
all on this one guy's hotspot for like
Yeah,
actually.
an hour or two.
yeah, it was really bad.
It absolutely doesn't.
Oh yeah, Houston is terrible with it.
Yeah.
It's freezing too out there. I've never been so cold in my life.
And the staff was like mad. How bad
No, the Saturday night actually went down initially.
Like it's just like.
Love side.
Yeah, and then, yeah. Well, because I think a lot of like our teamers were actually like, you know, actual DOE stuff, like, oh shit, we gotta get this ready, like, the DOE wants to come back.
They fly you out.
When I did it, I was under, internship program, so they paid for my travel and stuff. You know, so, yeah, luckily it all worked out. This time, I'm not under anyone, so.
Yeah, I mean, credits for.
Let's see. Hopefully get a club to.
Yeah.
And then, you guys get like your. Oh.
Oh, out of our budget,
It's a number.
it just comes out, like we just ask the school to do this.
I think it comes out of department. We represent Cal Poly, so I think it's like. Yeah.
I think I took one from there.
So hopefully.
God, I hate that.
I'm actually part of the team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, honestly, can't we just like, yeah, we can just like add you to the list of people.
You're on the other side of the door.
I mean, honestly, I don't think the school would know.
Or were they-
That would be and we seem to try to figure it out, or whatever, we'll just like Photoshop you behind the scenes.
It's like.
Yeah, this guy's not Steve, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That's crazy.
For workstation one, and you're like. Turn it off.
Oh, yeah, so we're under the bank, so.
Is this something I'm gonna set up in the staff section to share my?
Yeah, you're good.
Testing, testing. Oh, just a heads up, just so everyone knows, we're aware of like the issue with Camino. I'm working on getting everyone added onto it. I've already fixed a few people, so if you would just refresh your page, you might have access already. But yeah, sorry about that. Just give me a few minutes.
Just let it with HC and say, wait,
Smash.
HP laptop. Yeah.
That shit is the exact same thing, you just do the index. I need to memorize more. At some point, I knew like a lot of GPOs and like their actions, so I just managed. Is it right a script?
Yeah.
Same thing for others.
Oh my god, it's so.
Bro, it's high.
I didn't eat the round.
Bro, it's outside, bro, Chet, like, who's Chet, bro? Chet's on the. I looked at it like that. I looked at it this morning, like, let's see how many people. Oh, there's like a Chet.
I can get across camp.
We're going to see RJ Cyber doing that. Sandy, bro's gonna listen. I know you're better, but. You are, bro. I was looking at this, I'm like, aren't you available, bro? Like,
Oh my god.
bro, like, who's Chet? He's like, we could do that time, but like, who the heck is Chet?
It's not read shit. I read to like that.
It's so small.
Like, who's Chet? Do we have a Chet in our group? I don't think so.
And then I had my me incident. I dropped like $200 on accident on their year subscription.
Oh my.
And I got so good. Yeah, so I was like, looking at that.
You gonna do any other kind of courses? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't get right.
No way. No Conversation one on the network.
Bro, maybe wait for it to finish.
Bro, it's been, what do you mean? These are on already, like I turned them on.
No, these three has been.
Children, how's it going? I thought it was a joke.
Bro,
I think you guys are joking.
Palmer, we're looking at your resume.
Oh, why do you look so cowboy, bro?
From you have to for high school. I just don't. Yeah, I think it's like the. We're not joking. They don't have.
Oh, that's a band member. That's crazy, bro. Band member.
Bro, I just recently Wait, what got you that? Wait, that means you get a full A or C. So we can stay up to 5. I'll give you guys 4 A. You're getting 1 hour?
You know, when I did
I'll be I mean, it works. For my.
Get back. Where'd you get to you? Yeah. It might not do.
Oh. I just put the CCTV.
I guess I'll find out. I guess I'll find out.
I'll bring my stuff.
Doorknobs? In front of red. I keep yanking it off and like shit on black. Like I yanked it off.
You should put that shit too. I thought any hackers on like a casino, right? It's good, but like, you can make it a one line you have on that in your apartment. Yeah, I need to have a bill. So there's one phone that like no convention. There's you can put like certs and awards or something.
I'm lucky I got the one that's attached. Besides, I was looking at my room.
It's like one of two collectibles or something.
I used to we have like water damage in the ceiling, the shower rails are all broken, so you can't like throw your towel on or else it will collapse.
Because I'm using like latex.
No, it barely works.
Yeah,
but
Jake's.
No, look up how to add.
yeah, that's poor guys. They're telling us it's like backlogs basically. 'Cause
Yeah, it's hard to
everything's-
add this under section on.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like add a section under
It's
education.
nearly.
I added like multiple sections.
No.
Oh, like a subsection?
This thing right here.
Why would
Like look at.
Like, why would you add
One.
I know. You look at how much of a page I picked.
Like you want me to do this.
But look at this thing. This shit's not fair, man.
Wait, 6 grades? It's already 6 grades.
Oh, wait, no,
Bro, like fuck this guy, bro.
Wait, I didn't read.
Hey, bro, you should put crash out like.
And everything else, yeah.
I think you have to like the company first.
Yeah.
That's like most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, crash like, they have like scanning over the thing like.
Take out projects and just do like certs and awards.
Yeah, wait, what do you mean? I don't know if it's actually like.
I think you can.
Do you really need the text? Because I used to have a text. I took it out.
I've seen a lot of.
It's keywords.
Oh, I guess so.
I think there's one.
Oh, they're like, they're just handing out jobs.
Oh, dude, that'd be right, bro. That'd be right. That's. Where you at? Where you at?
Oh, me, I'm like,
It's the hell about that.
That's it? Are you really gonna say you said so? Wait,
well, I mean, like,
How to
it's like,
I heard opinion.
like, you know, like, I'm in like font now, like,
Oh, yeah, he
font
works for
yeah,
BlackRock,
a couple of-
actually. It's so real. Wait, did you get to this yet?
No. A couple of like phone firms like sent me like 95 an hour.
Where the fuck is my phone?
That's right. Only 95 cents, like
Yeah, like,
Oh,
I think
think
it's this.
like,
Okay, I'll
they're
get
paying
this
me,
one.
like,
yeah.
you know, thank you for the internship.
That's good.
And then-
Charm.
I want this, man. Can I have this one, please? Can I have this one? Can I have this shit? Can I have it? Can I have this? Can I have this?
Bro, they want.
It's a font. I want this one. Can I just apply? You know what? Fuck this. I'm not applying this one. I was looking at this earlier.
There's like 5 of them right there.
Yeah, I want them to weekly has like crazy. So I don't know what to do for, and they probably still do the same for side.
Oh, no, it definitely is. It says, strong program who can demonstrate high potential. Yeah, I'm like, nope.
They toss you like, they Our lead codes like, they like want, it's like specific, like want, there's ways to study for like specific want.
Can you do?
Noted. Thank you for telling me before I was about to read.
I think you found a section.
Wow, that's crazy.
Plus, I think some people just deploy it, but like.
But I swear, if you found a section. What I did, actually, what I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can change you can change the font down by one. And then it'll make it letters.
Reload. It says you're doing that sometimes, but I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. It's for the. Just as weird,
Why is this dude acting like he's like, "Get my right?" Shit, then he can never have to be broken.
He has one more mission than you, so I'm gonna. Technically, I better know.
We'll set up to be fine.
Is it?
I'm gonna press that.
No, yeah, I was gonna do that. And it's not till 9, right?
Okay. You should be able to feel like that.
I didn't know you were gonna be here, also would have just.
No, you're good, yeah, Palmer just said, like, you want me to go to the workshop?
I was gonna ask you, is it,
A big one.
No, I can't make that one up.
I guess not.
Oh, here we go.
Wait, it was bad. Did we ended at a reasonable time too?
Oh, bro, it's all like that.
Yeah. It wasn't like a long.
You watch Jada ABC.
Or what time it ended?
Yeah.
Last night? Did you not stay the whole time?
Oh, yes, dude, I had to do my entire system for BookTube because,
You just do that.
yeah, but, I had to get rid of it because,
I mean, I have to like.
the project that was using for TDP, it requires a BookTube, some libraries don't work.
Yeah.
So,
For me, it's a bad way, cause like, damn.
Like, you don't have to say, I mean, you could.
but no, I like using Linux
You could
more.
say in like your Cybersecurity description that you want, but then you can also put it again.
Yeah, this time like 10 people less.
It like comes to troubleshooting, it's so funny. But Linux is always like support like command line. So they actually got moved to something entirely different, like. Linux is what it's like, Linux like every national, it's like, oh, or not, like one of those.
And they also like their own like.
Properties, right? Why I met someone who's at the national. Did you send me the? He was really like in the data science and cyber, and then he's like, I said, I asked him that, he's like, I just want to make sure. Oh, he's doing that. The company's at, yeah, the national lab, it'll get me one.
I love you so much.
Yeah, that's good. We've met. I was tabling it, like you came for the next slide.
Oh, yeah, I was like spamming earlier. I'm really right now.
Testing. Just really quick, who's still having issues like accessing their pods? I can help you like one-on-one. Okay, cool. So it looks like everyone has access. Zoom, if you can hear me, just message in chat if you don't have access to your pods.
Actually, do I really want to gym? So bad.
Like that's how
This is like a threat. Bro, that already happened.
Yeah, I will do it again.
Did you volunteer Ryan to play sport? So yeah. We're having it at your.
Well, he doesn't have a say in it, so.
No, we asked. I asked him. Yeah. He's like, it has to be like.
Time would have done.
I could make sure they like all behave.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. They were well behaved last week too,
Bro,
alright?
was he there?
He's there again, and he wakes up at 7 a.m.
I saw him open his door, look at us. And then close his door again.
Bro, okay, this dude like fucking yells again at like 2 a.m. when he's playing the game.
Yeah, start banging on the door.
I think it's no complaints. Right? No complaints. Yeah, no complaints. You can turn it up.
Wait, the door's gonna be open this time.
Okay. Let's turn it up.
It's gonna be cold inside though.
Oh my god, yeah, why is the door open? Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna be cold, bro. You're gonna do that to the people?
Yeah, fuck the beat.
Yeah, the best, bad host for real. When you've been sacrificing.
They, what the?
I'm still like.
Double that shit, bro.
And then slides are.
Can you guys handle 8 kids?
I can.
Bro, I know. Hey, you guys be dead beats like this.
Hello?
It's not that you guys will not be in front of you single fucking text.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I can't fucking.
I know, I got one.
Fucking, you're gonna wanna go session.
Okay. So I'll be going over the, I guess, solutions for the first 4 tasks. So first you have to modify the password policy in the default domain policy in group policy management. And in order to do that, you could just go search up group policy management after clicking on the search bar. And here he sees some policies. One you're looking for is this one, which is default domain policy. You would right click on it. And then press edit. And then to change the password policies, you would have to go through computer configuration and then policies and then Windows settings. So policies, Windows settings. And after that, you would go to security settings, account policies, open, password policies, and then you'll see these policies right here, right? So we would want a password history of 24 passwords remembered, so it's already set to that. The minimum password age should be 1. So in order to change that, you just double click on that. Oh, change this from 30 days to 1. And then essentially just follow the guidelines that were put on the slides. And then password length should be a minimum of 14 characters.
It's so like optimized that you have like this one word.
And then that should be it for the first task. So in order to apply this policy immediately, you could open PowerShell. And then
I already asked you, like, but I'm wondering, like.
type in GP update /force. This would essentially update any policy changes that were recently made.
Already. Like, isn't identifying information already in file as proof? I just figured out the newest version of this shit yesterday.
Okay, it looks like it's been updated, so move on to adding users. So I'm not gonna add like every user, but I'm just gonna probably do a couple. So you could search up Active Directories, users, and computers. And then you'll see like these folders here. So we want to add 4 users to the standard users organizational unit, which would be located in this personnel organizational unit, or could also refer it to a folder if it's like more easier to understand. Oh, so wait, is it hard for you guys to see? Or is it, are we, because I'm gonna try to zoom it in. Is that more like viewable?
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. Okay, so in order to add users to the standard users organizational unit, you just click on the standard users folder type thingy, and then you could right click and press new, or you could just click on this little icon on the top with like a dude and a sun next to it. So one of the users is Draymond Green. So let me go ahead and just add him.
I don't know, today's thing I showed. Yeah, I waited like an hour.
See if the policy is working, just in case. All right, so we know that the policy is working because I just typed in the password bruh, and it obviously does not meet like the requirements I've previously set, so I would have to fix that by creating a better password, which was, I think, I love LeBron 15.
Yeah, like you could just like,
Oh.
like click like a different portion of the leaderboard and then you're chilling. That's what I did when I was in high school. I just like switched that.
There we added a user. So I'm just gonna jump to the third part, which is to remove the recently fired employee Carlos Boozer. So you could just basically delete this guy from this, and I believe he's gone from the domain. And then another employee who has domain admin credentials has been demoted, so we'd want to revoke his domain admin status. And to do so, we would basically remove him from the domain admin's user group. And we would do that by right-clicking on the user and then going on properties, find go to the member of tab, and just simply remove him from domain admins. And then after that, we have to move him to the standard users organizational unit, and he's in there. So those were the first 4 tasks. I don't know if anyone got that far. Like, Has anyone got that far?
Why aren't you?
Because
Yeah.
I know there's like severe issues with the pod deployment.
Yeah, if you want to share the next four, Raymond.
All right, so
Thank you.
I'm going to release tasks 5 through 8. Right now it should be up. Oh, that's crazy.
Don't like look up me, though, like.
All right, can you guys see the like screen? Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, so for task 5, one of the machines, workstation TAC 00 has an outdated SMB protocol, and we essentially want to uninstall it. So in order to access the workstation 00 machine locally, use these creds, CCDC, CCDC, and essentially you could uninstall it from there. Then afterwards, you would have to join another machine, which I believe is called workstation tag 01. And you're essentially joining that machine to the domain for step 6. And then 7, you would rename that newly joined machine to Windows 10 tag 01. And then finally, for this section, you would create a policy that revokes access to the control panel on all workstations that's enforced on domain users. Essentially, domain users should not have access to the control panel on all workstations on the domain. Hello? All right, cool. Okay, so I'll be going over these solutions now. So the first, or task 5, was to essentially just uninstall or disable SMB. So in order to do that, you would have to go to the workstation, and then from there, you would log in as the local user, which would be CCDC, and the password CCDC. So you would go to turn Windows features on or off. And then if you would look down, you would see SMB 1.0 checked. In order to uninstall it, you would simply just uncheck it and then press OK. And then it would prompt you to restart your client. And if you wanted to check if it was working, you could run PowerShell. Or if you wanted to check if you disabled SMB1, you could run get. Sorry, actually, let me make the screen smaller. There you go. So you'd run get tac SMB server configuration. And you can see SMB or enable SMB1 protocol is set to false. So for the next step, you had to join an additional machine to the domain. Oh, am I too quiet? Is this good? Oh, the PowerShell command, I could just put it in chat. Okay, so you want to join a domain, right? So, or you want to join this machine to the domain. You would go to first need to point the DNS to the domain controller. So in order to do this, you would essentially have to configure the network settings. So you could go from here, open network and internet settings, properties, edit, and then the setting you would want to change is this, your preferred DNS to 192.168.1.10, which is the IP of the domain controller, and also it's also where the DNS server that the domain controller is hosting is being hosted, like the address. So without this, if you were to try to join the domain by doing this, wait. Change system. Oh, system. Go to system. And then advanced settings. If you were to try to join the domain without its DNS settings properly configured, it would simply like fail. But if you were to set the DNS settings correctly and typed in, by default, it would be checked as work group. So if you'd switch it to domain and enter the domain name of the domain controller, which is swiftlinks.local, and then you again press enter, you would eventually be connected, or the machine would be joined to the domain. So that was task 6. And then 7 was to simply rename this computer to Windows 10. I'm sorry, this computer to Windows 10.1 or Windows 10 TAC 01. It this was pretty complicated because we had to use PowerShell for this one, but I'm sure there's like another method, more easier way. But first off, we would have to create a rule that a net firewall rule. So it would be enable net firewall rule, and then TAC display group. And then in quotes, Windows management instrumentation, and then in parentheses WMI, then press enter. And once that's done, you would finally type in rename computer new name. Then in quotes, win 10, attack 01. Then domain credential or attack domain credential. And then in quotes, Swift Lakes dot local backslash base Swifty, which is your account that has administrator privileges. It will prompt you for your password, so. And then it didn't work. That's so goated. Wow. Jerry, do you remember how you oh you would yeah, you would essentially run this set of commands, but for some reason it didn't work. Yeah. Don't know why that didn't work, but I'm just gonna move on to the final step because I think we're running out of time. So um you're supposed to essentially revoke access to the control panel for domain users. Oh, why did it change? If I could find it. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So you essentially needed to create a group policy that prohibits the use of control panel for regular domain users or standard users. So what you would do is open group policy management, and then essentially you could create oh, you could essentially create a new rule or policy by right clicking group policy objects new. You could call this control panel. Then once we edit this, you would go to user configuration and then policies, administrative templates, and click on control panel and enable this setting, prohibit access to control panel and PC settings. Once you set it to enabled, you just apply. And then you're done creating the group policy, but you still have to apply it to the users, right? So in order to do that, we go to personnel, users or standard users, and you would want to link an existing GPO, and which we would link the policy we just created to this organizational unit. So we would find control panel and then link it. And once that's done, you could run group policy update again / force. And then once it says everything has been updated successfully, you're pretty much done with that. So now we're gonna move on to like the next set of challenges, task 9 through 12. So let me just release these. Oh, that's crazy. There you go. All right, you guys should be good to go. Oh yeah, sorry. From here, um, you would disable remote desktop connectivity to and from the domain controller. As well as afterwards, you would set up an SMB file share on Windows 10 TAC 01 and configure it so only workstation admins have access to the share. And then finally, we want to deploy Zoom on all workstations. So whenever a user logs in, they would already have Zoom on their desktop and they could essentially use it once they log in. And domain, you should configure so you should make a policy so domain admins should not be able to log into the workstation machine. So this would be the workstation TAC 00 and Windows 10 TAC 01. And yeah, you guys are good to go. Can everyone hear me? All right, cool. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna go through one of the challenges, which would be 11, which is deploying Zoom through all workstations. So can you guys see my screen? All right, so in order to deploy applications through group policy, well, first you of course have to make a group policy. For this instance, I named it Zoom because we're going to be deploying Zoom to all of the workstations. So if you go through the group policy management editor, you would first go to user configuration, policies, software settings, and then software installation. Now, on your end, there would be nothing at first, but that's because we would need to select a package. So on one of the file shares, there's a Zoom installer, an MSI file that you would use to essentially perform this deployment. Oh, there you go. So once you've selected the package, the Zoom Workplace installer, you would want to set this to assigned. And then once that's done, you would go on properties and then click on the deployment tab and make sure install this application at logon is installed. Once that's done, you again would run gp update / force on the control panel, or I mean, sorry, PowerShell. And once you log into a user, so let's just do actually. Oh, oh wow. So essentially, if you were like to log into a domain user, you would see that Zoom Workplace would already be installed. And yeah, so this would be the only challenge I'd be going over for the section. So for the next section, your task is to find who defaced our CEO's desktop wallpaper, and as well as finding the policy that essentially set like essentially changed the wallpaper, and also figure out who the user is that created the policy and essentially remove them from the domain. All right, so I'm gonna be going over the solution for this section. So if you weren't able to see what the what the defacement or what the wallpaper looked like, it essentially looked like this, if you could so we're trying to figure out what policy like enabled this, and also who was the culprit. So if you look in the domain controller, group policy management, you notice there's two default domain policies. However, one of them is actually a fake one. You could tell because there's a million spaces and 2 dots in between this. So if I were to like, there's like 2 dots hidden. So if you would go through the if you go through user configuration policies, administrative templates, and desktop, you would see there's a configuration that actually changes the default wallpaper to a JPEG located in the file share on workstation tech 00. Now, in order to find out who did this, you would essentially go through event viewer and look through the logs, and eventually you would find that the user Lance Stevenson, would also known as Guitar Selly, which was the name that would show up on event log on event viewer that created this specific policy. So since this is the guy who vandalized our CEO's wallpaper, we would essentially fire him and delete him from the domain. And that concludes this workshop. Thank you. Hope you had fun. And thank you for coming. I think you're muted on Zoom. Jerry.